Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. When the president declared war on the separatists, we said this war cannot be won. We said this war seems to be localized now, it's going to spread to other regions. This is exactly what we are seeing now, that Meme is under serious challenges, and FACO as well is becoming affected. So the war is spreading. It is going to transition into a war if we don't do something. We want to thank the people of Northwest continuing to hold the peace there, because otherwise it would be completely out of hand at this time. So what I'm going to say is that we should accept, as the first principle, that we reject war in Cameroon. Once we accept that, then the next question we should ask ourselves, what is under our control that we can actually do to make sure that the situation does not become worse? You would think that the government will start reconciliation effort and then continue to block funding to this separatist group, or also get to the leaders who are animating this. People like Tapang Ivo, who are still very free. You would think that that is what the government will be doing. But I'm sorry to say that this government cannot do that. This government is absolutely incapable of solving the problem right now. It does not, first of all, recognize that it has to engage in serious political discussions, serious political measures to solve the problem. And secondly, it does not have the credibility, it doesn't have the standing abroad. Ignore what the American ambassador is doing in Cameroon. America, it wants to destabilize our country, and we have to fight. We have to fight against this. Otherwise, they would have arrested Tapang Ivo. He's breaking the law according to American standard. He's promoting terror. He's telling people to kill other human beings. Plainly. Everybody's reading that. And we think that the American ambassador is reading and laughing. So here, the government cannot help you. Countries like America cannot help you to solve this crisis. So it is out of our hands to stop this crisis by appealing to the government and by appealing to foreign countries where these people who are preaching this destabilization are comfortably sitting. So it comes back to us. We have to come back to our values. What is our value? If our country has been known for peace, if our people have been known for hospitality, if our people have been known for being very level-headed, this is the time to appeal to this kind of features in our society. This is the only thing that will help us. We have to appeal to our own nature, to say that we reject this idea of saying that a town has been taken over by anarchy. What does it mean a town has been taken over by certain forces? You have no goods and services. You have no protection. Anything can happen to people within that. Nobody has control. You have no access to the outer world that can ensure that people are treated, people are living their lives freely. So this is something we should reject. We can reject at the level of our communities. This is no longer the time to say the government should do something. The government is incapable of doing any damn thing to solve this problem. You should keep that out of the consideration. It is up to us, the people, to consider what to do to stop this crisis from engulfing all the divisions in these two regions. So we have to take this seriously. Now, but we are not going to let the government go freely. We have said here that we are going to announce demonstrations. I am going to make a special video in French because I am going to talk to our brothers and sisters. They are our solution. Our brothers and sisters in the other 8 regions are our solutions. We will descend together to Yaounde and demonstrate. Every Friday, we are going to announce this weekend, starting from February 16. We have chosen February 16 to make sure that our children still celebrate 11 February. So after 11 February, we will get into the mood of pushing the government to do something. These demonstrations are coming every Friday in Yaounde. We will demonstrate 4 straight weeks, every Friday in Yaounde. If we don't see a change, we will make it all the 10 regions. We will demonstrate at all the governor's office after these 4 demonstrations. So we start 16th of February, every Friday. It doesn't matter if we will put out our declaration. Even the government says it does not want this demonstration, we will reject that idea, because we will consider it to be a CPDM manipulation to deny the people the right to force the government to do what the people want. So demonstrations are coming February 16th. Every Friday, we're going to have those demonstrations in Yaounde. And we are possibly going to include the American embassy for demonstrations, because we have observed their actions and they are not those of promoting peace. They are those of trying to install politicians that are amenable to their own ideologies. So this is where we stand. But first, from now up to that February 16, if anything has to be done to stop this from developing into a very big crisis, it is at the level of the communities, it's at the level of the people, it's at the level of the churches. You have to preach and reject that we are not going to get into this idea of fighting war. We can do it in our communities. We know these people, and that's why some communities in Northwest are succeeding. Forget about what people say, and the administrators are good. We give 0 to the governor of Southwest region. He's incapable of handling the solution. The government should have transferred him a long time ago. The government should have transferred him just after the students of University of Buea were mishandled. He had a hand in that decision. From now to February 16, when we start our demonstrations, I'm going to explain to our brothers and sisters from the Francophone side, and we build a very strong coalition for this, because it's not one time. It's going to be every Friday until we see something happen. So there are 2 things that are going to happen. This government, we have given suggestions. We have told them exactly what needs to be done. We have said this from the very beginning, even told them how to increase security and how to track down and limit the funding and support of this. They have not done anything. We have told them clearly they need a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to investigate how this crisis was carried out, to punish those who use excessive force, to punish even the union leaders who brought us to this state of chaos. We have asked for a special task force to look into the claims that development, it is not in the 2 regions, it's not the same as in other regions. We have asked for a special task force for that. This is the best way that you can solve this problem. It is not going to be an open dialogue where you're going to try to renegotiate the terms of reunification. That was done. Mistakes were done. But now we have to figure out how we go forward. We are not going to go into court to prosecute people. But we need to have a task force that quantifies and identifies the places where Northwest and Southwest are lagging behind in development and recommend measures. And the last point we have made, we are going to get a lot of support from the Francophone brothers. The idea is simple. The constitution of a country is the strongest document that can be. That is the strongest basis of law. You cannot have a constitution and you have a president who is improvising. He wakes up today and says, I think we should do this. I think we should do this. He should follow the Constitution. And the Constitution for over 20 years now has prescribed decentralization. And this government has not been able to do a damn thing about it. We're going to get our French brothers and sisters unite around this idea that the government must clearly spell out a timetable and a mechanism how all the provisions in the decentralization law are going to be brought into effect. We do not think that people should be suffering while we're trying to figure out how to go ahead. Now, it's possible that the government is still not going to respond with our demonstration. Then the nature of the demonstration will have a completely different mission. That mission would be to weaken the ruling party, weaken it to the point that it is guaranteed to fail in elections, is guaranteed to lose elections that are coming up. So this is going to be our mission. If they don't get us out of the way by solving this problem in Northwest and Southwest, it will be our objective to weaken that ruling party in the public perspective and internationally. The idea internationally is to discourage anybody from giving money to this government because this government is incapable of securing the nation. No major bank, no major country, even China, has to stop giving money to this government because this government is not able to secure the country. The cheapest means to secure the country is by political means. It has chosen to send the military and stay behind and do absolutely nothing. It is going to be our mission to transform these demonstrations. And you are one. You are one. We are going to use very, very, very careful methods to make sure that only peaceful people come to our demonstration. We will use identification or use verification. Only peaceful people will come to our demonstration, and let the military not try to bring up any kind of measure to crack down on the people. When I will give my presentation this weekend to convince our brothers and sisters in the Francophone region, some of them, many of them have emailed to say that this is the right thing to do. They are willing to support. I'll convince many more of them. And when I will declare this, the demonstration, I will send a copy of that declaration to the United Nations. I will send a copy of that to the African Union, to the European Union, to the Commonwealth. We will explain exactly what we want. We want the government to set up a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. We wanted to set up a task force for development, focusing especially on the two regions which are affected. And we wanted to give a clear timetable how the decentralization law is going to be implemented. Full stop. We are focusing on 4 people: the President of the President of the Republic of Cameroon, the Prime Minister, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, the President of the Senate. Now, many people will tell me, why do you even name 4 people? It's only one man. It's the President who takes all the decisions. We are here to reinforce institution of the countries. So we are going to give them the respect. These 4 people. The problem in Cameroon has nothing to do with the military right now. The military can only try to protect the citizen as much as they can. Only 4 people have a solution to the problem within Cameroon now. It's the President, the Prime Minister, the Speaker of the Assembly, and the President of the Senate. These 4 people, they are the target of our demonstrations, and by extension, we might make that become the mission to go after the embassies of foreign countries which are protecting these people, coordinating the actions on the ground. This is where we're going. We have to say no to war, and the way to say no to war is to do something. To do something is to first start with the thing that you have control of. And the thing you have control of is our neighborhoods, is our communities. We can say in our communities, we are not going to attack our brothers. We are not going to attack the security forces. They are there to protect schools. They are there to guide us. We are not going to do that. As for those who are arrested, only those who are non-violent will be set free. If Nigeria has arrested people in Nigeria, it means these people have committed a crime by the way they were behaving. Yes. We said here that Ambazonia was already receiving money and funding war. If they have done that, they will have to face these consequences as well. But we have to take what is in our hands. What is in our hands is that we can say no in our community, that our young people are not going to attack the chief, are not going to attack those who believe that we should stay together, and they are not going to attack the security forces. Then our communities will be in peace. This is very necessary because despite our demonstration, this very stubborn government is going to sit quietly and do nothing and wait for the election to see whether we are right. Of course, we will be right. We will weaken this ruling government to the point that every voter from the far north to the south, from the east to the west, will know that this government stinks. It stinks and it stinks and it stinks and it stinks. It doesn't have what it takes to rule a country. That's going to be our objective. We have the mechanism. We have what is in place. You will notice that no newspaper covers what we are saying. No television covers what we are saying. But Our demonstrations are going to be covered by international media. That's the project we're working on. We'll get the international media also sensitized about our demonstrations, and they'll follow this very closely. We have decided to give the government space to operate, but the government has failed to operate. We are going to give that space to citizens, not citizens from Northwest and Southwest, giving the false impression that we are two different nations, but the citizens of Cameroon, from North to South, from East to West. This is going to be our mission. The patriots are going to rise up. You cannot destroy our country. You cannot destroy our country. This is to the government. And the four people we have named here, the president, the prime minister, the speaker of the National Assembly, and the president of the Senate. These four people, you should be speaking every day about our demonstrations, because they are going to expose you. They are going to show how reckless you have been with our fatherland. But for now, I'm pleading with you, my brothers and sisters in the Southwest. This is not the way to go. Congo has not come out of the difficulties. 30 years after, it has not come out. Iraq has been going on for a very long time. And then you had ISIS coming out of there. This is not the way to go. I'm pleading with you. Reject violence. Reject this idea of saying that this town has been taken over by the forces. That means children will not be able to go to school there. That means they will not be able to sell. Those who go to the farm and bring vegetables to sell to manage their household, they will not be able to do. People will run away to different places. They'll have to beg. They'll have to be sleeping on the ground. This is not the kind of country we are. We have to reject that. So I thank you. Our objective is to make sure that Cameroon remains one, remains united. But all the problems that come up need to be solved, and solved correctly. I thank you.